Russell Crowe and Tom Cruise. Two of Hollywood's biggest names, both icons, both legends, and both surprisingly not on good terms. For years, people in the industry whispered about the tension between them. But now, Russell Crowe is finally speaking out. And what he's revealing is more personal and more explosive than anyone expected. It all started with Promise, a casual barbecue in Sydney back in 1992. Naomi Watts was hosting. Cruise, already a global superstar, was in town, with Nicole Kidman, his wife at the time. Crowe was just making a name for himself in Australian cinema, but Nicole had seen his work and thought Tom should meet him. What was supposed to be a relaxed get-together turned into a long, unexpected conversation. Tom was curious about Russell's acting background and wanted to know more about the Australian film scene. Russell remembered that talk as genuine. For a moment, it felt like the beginning of a real friendship. But that spark didn't last. Tom Cruise had already skyrocketed to fame with Top Gun, which came out in 1986 and completely changed his career. That movie didn't just break the box office. It changed pop culture. Aviator sunglasses became cool again, recruiting for the U.S. Navy surged, and Cruise became the definition of a movie star. He followed that with hit after hit. The Mission: Impossible series launched in 1996 and kept going for decades, pulling in over $3.5 billion worldwide. Tom became famous for doing his own insane stunts, jumping out of planes, hanging off skyscrapers, and holding his breath underwater for minutes at a time. Nobody in Hollywood pushed their physical limits like he did. But Cruise wasn't just an action guy. He had range. He was nominated for an Oscar for Jerry Maguire, delivered powerful scenes in A Few Good Men, and worked alongside the best names in the business. Over 30 of his movies crossed $100 million at the box office. That kind of track record is almost unheard of. Russell Crowe, meanwhile, took a very different path. He exploded onto the scene in 1992 with Romper Stomper, playing a violent skinhead, in one of the most intense performances anyone had seen. Critics were stunned. But just 1 year later, he showed his softer side in The Sum of Us, playing a sweet gay plumber trying to navigate love and family. His range was incredible, and Hollywood noticed. Crowe's golden run started in 1999 with The Insider, where he gained 35 pounds to play a whistleblower exposing the tobacco industry. That led to his most iconic role, Maximus in Gladiator. That movie won Best Picture and earned Crowe an Oscar. And then came A Beautiful Mind, where he played mathematician John Nash, another performance that earned him global praise and awards. 3 straight Oscar nominations, 1 win, and a place at the top of Hollywood. But somewhere between the rise and the glory, things got complicated. When Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman split in 2001, it didn't just shock fans, it divided their inner circle. Crowe had remained close with both, but he chose to support Kidman during the breakup. He felt she needed someone in her corner, especially under the pressure she was facing. That loyalty didn't sit well with Cruise. Reports say Tom's team tried to push Crowe away, seeing him as a problem. Russell stayed firm. He wasn't trying to pick sides. He just wanted to be there for his friend. But then came the joke. During an interview, Crowe made a comment that he was part of Kidman's divorce settlement. He meant it as humor. But Cruise and his people didn't laugh. If there was any chance of repairing their relationship, that moment ended it. Years passed, and the two stayed apart, until 2017, when fate pushed them back together. The Mummy reboot brought them face to face. Both signed on to star. It was supposed to be a big hit, but behind the scenes, it was anything but smooth. From the start, there was tension. They had to shoot a brutal fight scene, 4 days of physical work, both of them refusing to use stunt doubles. They were in their 50s, but neither backed down. The shoot was exhausting, and it didn't help that the entire production felt split in half. Tom had major control over the movie, editing decisions, script rewrites, final cuts. everything went through him. Crowe wanted more focus on the story and characters, but Cruise pushed for action. The mood on set became hostile. Crowe later admitted it was tough. He wasn't just acting alongside a former friend. He was working with the ex-husband of someone he deeply cared about. The emotional weight was real. And when the movie flopped, it didn't help either of their legacies. Tom Cruise, for all his success, has always come with controversy. His devotion to Scientology has sparked endless debate. His 2005 interview with Matt Lauer became infamous after he harshly criticized psychiatry and antidepressants. He also attacked Brooke Shields for taking medication for postpartum depression, claiming vitamins and exercise were the real answer. Shields fired back with a powerful op-ed, saying Cruise had no idea what women with postpartum depression go through. The backlash was fierce. A year later, Cruise apologized to her in person, and she later attended his wedding. But the damage to his image lingered. Then came his difficult collaboration with Thandie Newton on Mission Impossible 2. She described a scene that was so stressful, she felt terrified. Cruise wanted to swap roles to fix the performance, which only made her more nervous. She noticed the pressure on his face that night and saw just how intense things had become. The shoot didn't get easier. Eventually, Cruise ordered a reshoot, and Newton complied. But it left a mark. There were also critics from within the industry. Mickey Rourke didn't hold back in a 2022 interview. He said Cruise wasn't a real actor, just someone who chased box office numbers. To Rourke, true acting meant transformation, not just big explosions. It was a harsh take, but it reflected a real debate in Hollywood. Was Cruise a master performer or just a blockbuster machine? And behind all of this was Scientology. Former Scientologist Leah Remini spoke openly about Cruise, saying his public charm was carefully crafted. According to her, Cruise had a darker, more controlling side behind the scenes. She claimed his temper led to crew members quitting, and that he had special access to Scientology's leader, David Miscavige. While others in the church were held to strict rules, Cruise was treated like royalty. Even his relationship with John Travolta, another Scientologist, became complicated. They were once the church's biggest stars. But when Cruise was given Scientology's highest honor in 2008, Travolta was left out. That created a quiet rivalry. Travolta didn't even show up to Cruise's wedding to Katie Holmes, a clear sign that something had changed. So where does that leave Tom Cruise and Russell Crowe? On the surface, both have achieved more than most actors could dream of. But behind the scenes, their relationship became a symbol of what Hollywood really is: fame, loyalty, egos, and pressure. They were once close, bonded by mutual respect and a love for acting. But personal choices, emotional loyalty, and clashing, creative visions pushed them apart. Crowe breaking his silence now matters. It shows he's ready to speak his truth, even if it's uncomfortable. His honesty reminds fans that even the biggest stars deal with the same messy human emotions as everyone else: friendship, betrayal, regret, and pride. Tom Cruise remains a dominant force in Hollywood. His stunts are still jaw-dropping. His work ethic is unmatched. But the shadow of controversy has followed him. His beliefs, his control, his behavior, they all come with a cost. Russell Crowe, on the other hand, continues to evolve. From award-winning actor to director and musician, he's built a career that doesn't chase box office numbers, but emotional truth. He's willing to take risks that might not be flashy, but are always meaningful. Their paths crossed, clashed, and then drifted apart. But now that Crowe is finally speaking, it gives fans a rare look at the tension behind the spotlight. Not everything in Hollywood is about glitz and glamour. Sometimes it's about standing up for your friends, even if it means losing others along the way. If you found this story fascinating, there's so much more to talk about. The real Hollywood is filled with complicated relationships, rivalries, and untold stories. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss what's really going on behind the scenes. And drop a comment. What do you think about the clash between Russell Crowe and Tom Cruise? Whose side are you on? Let's hear what you think.